My name is Randy Williams.
And what school district are you with?
I work for the Wilson School District as a Director of Transportation in West Lawn, PA.
So for starters, just tell me a little bit about the class. What did you like about the class? What did you get out of the class?
Good. It was a great class. I think, we haven't gotten our training set up yet, but I think it will be a great tool for us in a lot of ways. So I think being able to have the class still with other people was important. So the virtual class, knowing we couldn't meet in person, Kristen and Zach's knowledge of the product was really good. They weren't afraid to say, oh, I don't know that one, let's check, and either get back to us during training or they'll get back to us in the next couple days. But I think the format was good. It was well thought out and well prepared, and it made the learning experience much more enjoyable and effective.
What were some of the takeaways you have from the instruction itself?
Oh gosh, it's the ease of routing compared to Pro, and I actually stumbled upon it this morning working with one of my coworkers remotely. When you go into the trips and you pull up a trip and look at it in the layout view, you can actually see the map of the route right there in the same screen, which is huge. Being able to have multiple windows open at the same time and just click back and forth. The integration is, from what I see, is awesome.
How soon do you think you'll actually be able to start routing students with Plus?
So our project manager asked us, how long do you want to work with we're using in our sandbox, we're using the current year data, even though we've already done our rollover and we've routed all the graduating students to the next grade level. The only thing we don't have are our kindergarten students yet, but we just my coworker and I went through a check and balance on are all our students there, or all our staff there, or all our vehicles and trips there. We want to actually do training in our actual 2021 environment.
What's your next step?
So Hans, my coworker, was also in the training with me. And he and I do the routing here. I'm the Director of Transportation. He's a dispatcher, but I have a third employee, but she doesn't really do any routing. She just does like lookup features. So Viewfinder is what she's been using anyway. So he and we went through the training together, and we're going to go through the one-on-one training together. So I won't have to get with other routers and give them a high-level synopsis. He's all in it.
You think that it's going to make life easier for your department, and what aspects of it are you looking to that are significantly different from Pro?
So yeah, actually, when I did my justification to my superintendent, for the amount of money it was, I had to come up with a good justification. So Angela Beatty actually gave me a lot of good info, and a lot of it appears to be a quicker system, being able to go from module to module, or screen to screen, or data grid to data grid, which I think will streamline the process. But the ability to move students from one bus to another and do it as a scenario base versus a permanent base, that's a huge thing that Pro didn't have. That whole thing, the ability to restrict travel on streets at different times of day, again, another Pro feature that wasn't there, that's there in Plus now. I just think the layout, the feel, the overall product is much more user-friendly, user interfacing than Pro was.
How important is being web-based? Because is that significant for you at all?
I think being hosted is so critical, because if you are out of the office, if you get sick, if you get injured, if you're on a working vacation, if you're at a meeting, without having that access detailed at your fingertips, that's difficult. So I think it's much more, being hosted in Pro, now seeing the hosted in the web-based program, obviously I think Plus is hands over fist, much better system. And web-based is critical, and I think any user who's not at least hosted but pure web-based will really notice a difference and a big benefit. I'd absolutely recommend Transfinder University. The ability to learn in the hands-on environment is integral to being successful with the system. From Kristen and Zach training us to Michelle O'Reilly being our project manager, I don't know who our trainer will be, but everybody has been phenomenal. Seeing Tony come into the meeting, the Transfinder U virtually, and talk to us and give us some pump up and some ideas of what's happening, I think that was second to none.